Welcome back, everyone. Japan faces disasters they haven't felt in a long time, one right after another. Why? The headlines have been looking really grim for the beautiful country this last month and a half. It started back on June 18th when a 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit Osaka, which struck at 8 a.m. at a depth of 13 kilometers. And it had left about 170,000 homes without power. Domestic flights were grounded, while roads and water pipes were ripped up. Kyoto, Nara, Hyogo, and Shiga had also felt the tremors. This left 3 dead and over 200 injured. A small slap on the wrist from the Lord to wake them up. The next sequence of events was leading up to the horrible typhoon Maria. Living up to the name its predecessor left in Puerto Rico last year, its effects started before even making landfall. Evacuations were made in several areas due to massive flooding. Hundreds of thousands were evacuated as the rains left 2 dead and set off several landslides. By Friday morning, one part of the main island of Honshu had been hit with twice the total amount of rain for a normal July. Several dozens were injured, and more landslides occurred, leaving 11 people dead and 45 missing by the time Maria started to hit the island. More than 1.6 million people had evacuated their homes, and another 3.1 million were advised to do the same. Although Maria only scraped Japan on its way to China, the effects were devastating. Joseph Monti of ABN's Apocalyptic Weather also made a video on this typhoon. The link's in the description below. On July 10th, it was reported that the rains had left at least 179 people dead and dozens still missing with little hope of ever finding them. If you think that this was the end of the wake-up call, it wasn't. Japan is currently in the worst heat wave they have ever experienced, and it's being declared a natural disaster. This has caused 30,000 people to be taken to the hospital and claimed over 60 lives. This heat wave may be there for another 2 weeks. And now, a new and deadly typhoon just hit the island. After the horrors of the last month and a half that left over 40,000 in the hospital and more than 300 people dead, Typhoon Jongdari's winds are measuring up to 180 kilometers. That's 110 miles an hour. And it made landfall over the weekend, where record rainfall earlier this month unleashed flooding and landslides, killing around 220 people and leaving more than 4,000 survivors still living in temporary shelters. Jongdari has currently left 24 people injured and thousands without power. Japan is favored in the Lord's eyes. This is a last-minute wake-up call for the country to repent to Christ before the land is destroyed, along with the people. And I, for one, don't want to see such a gorgeous place and people wiped off the earth. This is a call for all who love Japan to bring people to the returned Messiah, Lord Rael, Enlil, Lord of the Storm, before it's too late. The Lord has expressed his love for Japan before. People who lived through World War II are still alive today. And Japanese Americans experienced real prejudice and discrimination that no other so-called oppressed group in America can match. Because Japan attacked America at Pearl Harbor, beginning a bloody war between America and Japan, loyal Americans of Japanese descent were rounded up en masse and thrown into horrific prison camps for no other reason than their heritage. Japanese Americans were hated for the actions of Japan, and they experienced unprecedented racism that was fueled by wartime patriotism. Yet despite this, and having everything taken away from them, they worked hard, and within a generation, they rose to the top echelon of America's societal stratification. leading the way in education and industry, while having some of the lowest crime statistics found in any group. At the same time, the country of Japan had just lost the war and been decimated with multiple atomic bomb strikes. But within barely a generation, they rebuilt their country and now lead the world in many fields of industry, science, and technology. As individuals and as a nation, they have proven that overcoming adversity is a matter of will and work, not of complaining about how terrible you think you have it. A speech from George entitled, "Why I Love a Country That Once Betrayed Me," shows in the best way why the Lord loves the Japanese people. The video will also be in the description below. It is time to repent to the King while he's giving this mercy. These attacks are not punishment, but a harvest. A way to make you realize that you need to accept the Lord now. Don't let these chastisements continue. Give yourselves to God. I'm Archbishop William Scoggins. Japan, bend your knee to Rael, and mercy will be granted.
Myself and others here at ABN are exceptionally dedicated to giving everyone the whole truth. We have staff all over the world, and many have already dedicated their lives to being a part of or helping this cause. We rely on the kindness and generosity of others so we can continually deliver the unadulterated truth, and your donations play a crucial role in helping our staff continue their mission. Please consider sending even a small donation to Armageddon Broadcast Network at gmail.com on PayPal. You will find the donation information below in the description field. Remember to love God and love each other. Thank you and God bless.
Governments are quickly falling as massive social unrest, disease, pestilence and financial collapse spreads across the globe. Tensions are at their peak as regional wars are breaking out everywhere, with the imminent threat of global thermonuclear war beginning at any moment as the United States and North Korea threaten mutual annihilation, all while Israel's enemies surround them, promising to end their existence. While from the sky, unprecedented numbers of meteors are skimming past Earth and entering our atmosphere, as never before seen levels of destruction batter the world with apocalyptic weather, fire, droughts, floods, massive earthquakes and simultaneous volcanic eruptions. As a new sun appears in our sky, every major end-time event predicted by Judaism, Christianity and Islam is rapidly unfolding before your eyes. Make no mistake, this is the end. And it's time for you to choose a side. Are you with the enemy who has enslaved and deceived the world, bringing darkness, destruction and death? Or do you stand with the light of the world, the one who brings us light and eternal life, our great and holy King, Lord Rael?